it, you sucker!
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. They call him the boat. And I'm coming off a huge weekend, man. It was awesome. Actually, got a chance to do a little bit of Fox work as well as the Royal Rumble 2021. And I tell you, man, down in Tampa, Florida, it was on. It was on. I had some fun actually on the panel. Got a chance to do the video live. Bad Bunny. That was really cool. So my weekend was full, man. I'm just glad to be back home, though, so I can finish my projects. You know what I mean? I'm always about my projects. But I had fun this weekend. What about you, Doc?
Hey, I had fun taking it all in. You know, the Royal Rumble, I think for most wrestling fans, obviously WrestleMania is like a spectacle, but for Royal Rumble, it's the one that we always look forward to the most. And it was no exception this year. Even in a pandemic atmosphere, I was ready for the Rumble because I remember a year ago, January 2020, Minute Maid Park. You know, sold out to the rafters. Booker T, Road Warrior Pop, 88, 89. You know what I mean? Doing the commentary.
Edge made his return.
Edge made his return. MVP made his return to the WWE. It was a real fun night, so you never know what's going to happen with the Royal Rumble. And so I actually enjoyed sitting down and watching the full, I think it ended up being like a full 4.5, 5 hour presentation. And I actually really had a lot of fun. But you were all over the place. You were like in LA, you were in Tampa, you were in Texas, tri-coastal Booker T was this weekend.
Nah, man, I'm gonna tell you that trip too, man, from LA to Florida, it was a monster, dog. 4.5 hours. And I was like, man, I just couldn't wait to get on the ground for some reason. But like I said, but it was all good to be back in the studio with my girl Renee Young and Paige. That was really cool. And I thought we had a really cool WWE Backstage previewing the Rumble. It was definitely a kickback, laid back atmosphere. And I was like, man, I can't wait to actually hopefully get this going on a regular, real soon. Is that a song right there? Because if it ain't,
sounds like it.
Somebody need to,
maybe your boy Bad Bunny can do it for you
on a regular.
Renee looked awesome. I mean, she's got to be due pretty soon, right?
She's due real soon. She looked radiant.
Radiant was, I heard you say that, and that was a great descriptor of. It is weird how I've always heard that, but pregnant women really do have a glow about them, and they have like a sense of joy and happiness.
Definitely. But back to the Rumble. What about the Royal Rumble unexpected entries? Everybody was expecting to see, man, who's gonna show up? Who's gonna be the one person that popped the whole roof off the building. I don't know. Jillian Hall, she made a return back in the Rumble. Victoria, she made
Victoria was the one. Victoria that was a big pop for me. Victoria hadn't been on WWE TV in 10 years.
Alicia Fox, she made a return as well. The Hurricane, he made a return to the Men's Rumble. Carlito made a return to the Men's Rumble. Christian made a return.
All great ones.
I tell you, man.
Also, Tori Wilson.
Tori Wilson, the lovely Tori Wilson.
How could you forget?
I tell you, man. Tori was off the chain too. She came in there on fire.
She did.
Drop kicks and everything. I was like, slow down, girl. I don't want nothing to pop. You never know. But she looked good. She looked great.
She does look great.
When she came out the curtain and made the walk down the ramp, I was like, man, Tori looks, the same pretty much. She hadn't changed a whole lot at all.
No.
So I give her a whole lot of props for keeping everything together, because it ain't easy. No, what, man? What are you talking about, man?
Well, I do want to. Obviously, we got to talk about the Rumble and everything that happened at the Royal Rumble, but also talk a little bit about how Backstage made history. Y'all had your first match that happened during Backstage. I thought that was cool. You got to announce the entrants 1, 2, and 30 in the Royal Rumbles. But how was it being back on set? And did you like the trio? Because you're the only man. You're only holding it down for the men. You had the lovely Renee Young, the lovely Paige. You were kind of in the middle. What was the vibe like Backstage?
Well, I am the co-host.
That's right.
So it's only fitting that I be there. But no, it felt normal, man. It felt good.
Y'all been off since when? When was the last Backstage?
It's been a year. It's been a year.
Has it been a year?
Yeah, it's been a year.
Wow.
And the thing is, but no, for me to sit there with Renee and Paige, man, I felt comfortable. I thought the conversation was really, really good. At the same time, I thought we all got a chance to talk, adequately. You know what I mean? It wasn't, quick, hits and whatnot. It wasn't talking in sound bites, so everybody can get a piece of the action or anything like that. We actually had a chance to have some fun. Like when we was talking about Jay, and I say Jay is like the hit man. You just, write the name down on a piece of paper and just slide it to him. You don't say nothing. You know what I mean? The price, if the price is right, somebody got a hit on him. It's one of those type of deals. We got a chance to just have some fun. Back to promo school with, Christian Okoye, the Nigerian nightmare, so that was cool, man, because Christian Okoye, he go back to my day, man. Him and I, we, around the same age, and I watched him wreck shop on the field, man. And then he wanted, there again, get his piece of the action, his champagne wishes, his caviar dreams, and get a piece of Booker T. And then Booker T come back on it, real smooth as well. You know what I mean? I came back on it real smooth. But nah, man, history was made. And there again, I was just glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, it was cool to see, man. And I liked Backstage being back, and I like that y'all are able to break news. Do you know what I mean? It makes it like you have to see Backstage because you're going to find out who's in the Royal Rumble. So, I mean, is there any talks? Are we doing more? Are we doing more Backstage? Do we know? Can you not say?
No, it's not that I can't say or anything like that, but we still are in the pandemic. California is still on fire. So for us to actually, get a chance to get in the studio for a minute, it was cool. We all, came through it okay as well. We got tested properly, protocol, got tested twice actually, and then did the show, and then went from there to Florida, did the show there, came back. I'm home today, and hopefully I'm safe, and if all works, man, and things could get better, of course. I think we'll be back in the studio, man, doing it back in LA on a regular, baby, on a regular, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm serious, man. But
you really got to try to get that off, huh?
Nah, man, I'm serious, man. But nah, man, the Rumble was it was awesome too. Getting the chance to sit at the panel with Rosie Rosenberg, my man JBL as well. So
y'all looked like y'all were having fun up there at this pre-show, more than other pre-shows. I don't know if it was since you and JBL go back to the 90s, early 90s.
No, you know what it was? We did not rehearse at all.
What? That doesn't sound like the pre-show that you're used to.
It doesn't sound like the pre-show that we normally do, but this pre-show, we did not rehearse it at all. We did not go over graphics or anything for it. They said we just gonna go, straight cold and see how it work. And man, I thought it was a whole lot better, especially when I called the kid, whatever his name, the alcoholic. I don't know what was they calling him. What is he? What is this?
Someone in the chat will tell us. I can't remember either. But just the camaraderie between you and Lawler and Charlie, and I mean everything did seem a little bit more relaxed. So maybe that makes sense because y'all were really just busting each other's chops a lot, but also getting the content out to the people. It was a quick hour.
Yeah, it really was. And then we got a chance, like you say, to talk about the guys, talk about the talent, really put our points into play as far as, why this guy's doing this, why this guy's, getting ready to come up, why, this is a precious situation, whatnot. So I really had a fun time doing the kickoff show this time, more so I think than any time since Renee been gone. Of course, since I tell you what, this is the best one I've done with Charlie. Because one thing about Charlie, man, a lot of people don't like Charlie. Okay, I'm just putting that out there. A lot of people don't like Charlie, so I always try to, got to, buffer, make sure everything's cool and whatnot. But guys, you're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute. Soup. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Brad, we got super chat, man. Make sure let's take care of the super chat right
now. Let's go to the super chat right now. It's from actually a guy we haven't heard from in a minute. AJRX with a $9.99 super chat. You can buy the WWE Network for that. He said Bad Bunny was a nice touch, but more importantly, that we were checking out the beard, checking out the shine, and checking out the gloss. Booker T looked ferocious. One more match. Man,
everybody was saying, man, you look good. You know what I mean? You look good.
Big Daddy Laddie.
Look like you could go one more, man. Even at the gorilla position, the guys were like, man, what's going on, man? Why haven't you changed and everybody else got on? And I'm like, man, because I'm always, prepared, man. I say, I'm going to, I know Father Time is going to catch up with me, but he's going to have a hell of a time trying. I'm running hard, man. I'm like one of those relay racers, man. When you pass the baton and, he pick up speed, then he starts slowing down. You pass the baton, you pick up speed. You know what I mean? That's the way I am, man. Until I can't, pass the baton no more, man, I'm going to keep running. And I'm going to keep running hard, man. But now one more match. I can't say if I'm ever going to have another wrestling match or anything like that. But I'm always gonna try to stay prepared to have a wrestling match. If the situation is right, I'm not just gonna get in the ring and bounce around and have fun or anything like that. And try to live out the old days and try to kindle a fire or something like that. No, I'm not gonna do that. At all. But if someone came to me and offered me the right, situation as far as having a match, man, I would love to have a match because the thing is, I know I can still do it. I know I can still get in the ring and perform. And I don't know. I think I can perform at, 70%, 65% of what I did at, my last run in WWE. And I think that right there is actually pretty good as far as me being able to go out there and pull it off. And it's with Smoke and Mirrors, you might think, man, Booker T may be able to do this, a few more times, but my thing is I'm not looking to scratch any itch or anything like that. I've had a whole lot of fun doing it, and I'm really embracing this stage of my life that I'm in right now. I love the stage of the life that I'm in right now. I really do.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't work yourself into a shoot now, Brother Book. You don't want to start thinking I'm gonna get back on the road and taking all these bumps. Now, here's the thing. I have no doubt that you could go in there and, like you said, not even with too much smoke and mirrors. You could just go in there and have a match. You had a match last year. You had a match the year before that, right? We know you can do it. I do remember the story that you told on this show before about, you kind of got blown up during your warm-ups for Rexand during the entrance. You got blown up during the entrance. But I think if you pace yourself, you can do a great job. I wanted to ask though, because I saw a lot of people talking about obviously GI Bro last night. Everyone's like, oh, GI Bro back. G.I. Bro's bike. You know, they say back is like BYKE, right? Bike. G.I. Bro bike. When you did G.I. Bro in WCW, was that your idea or was that Russo's? Because I always thought it was a Russo idea. But then I heard someone say, no, I think that Booker pitched that himself.
Now, everybody at that time thought the company was trying to bury me. I'm serious. They thought.
Well, because you had just gotten to like main event level, and then all of a sudden you're Misfits in action.
Well, I was, I had won titles.
Yeah.
I had been champion on just about every level except the world championship level. But G.I. Bro, my first character that ever played in the wrestling business was it was G.I. Bro. Back in the day, Ivan Putski's wrestling organization. I was like, man, it was fun. It was a fun time back then. I thought I was gonna rise up and Sergeant Slaughter was about to retire. I thought I was gonna take Sergeant Slaughter's place. That was my goal. That was my ultimate plan, was to take Sergeant Slaughter's place, G.I. Bro. You know what I mean? Hey, from the Western Wrestling Alliance, you got to be kidding me. This kid came up. But no, it was a character that, my trainer, Scott Casey, he put it on me. And I wanted to bring it to the big stage. I wasn't doing anything at WCW at that time. Everybody had their own thing going. Everybody was so off into the politics, and it was crazy, so they were paying me good money. So I was like, man, let me do that. Let me see if they'll buy me doing the G.I. Bro thing. And they was like, yeah. And then, they made the, I could, come down to the ring on the zip line and everything, like G.I. Joe and everything. I was like, it was really, really cool, So, I remember I was putting my paint on one day, and Dallas Page came in the bathroom, and he just looked at me. And he go, bro, what are you doing? And I go, man, I'm having some fun. What are you talking about? He just shook his head and walked off. And because he thought I was he thought I was crazy. But it was just me having fun and not taking it too serious. And look at me now.
I was about to say two Hall of Fame rings later. I don't think it really hurt you all that much.
No, but look who was on stage last night.
Yeah,
G.I. Bro. America's greatest hero. So my thing is this, man. It's just all about going out there and having some fun. Not taking this thing too serious. Sometimes you got to take it serious when need be, but no win. To actually be one or the other.
Yeah, I think that what I love about, and it's something that I've always admired about you. You just kind of go with what feels right. Do you know what I mean? And at the time, G.I. Bro felt right. The flat top and the mustache felt right. Then the dreads felt right. King Booker felt right, and you just kind of know whatever. If you feel connected to it and you feel good about it, you know it's going to get over. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I don't know. I don't really think about it that deep, but I just think, wrestling, I always tell my students never look at wrestling like it's MMA. Never look at it like it's boxing or anything like that. When you take the fun out of professional wrestling, you're losing your perspective. You really are. So for me, I always been able to just, keep everything in perspective at that time. You know what I mean? Maybe later on I'll be doing something else, but put that in perspective from a different way. But G.I. Bro was, it was a fun character. I was the leader of a crew. I had my own, my own crew, Private Stash, you know what I mean? General Rection, Major Guns, you know what I mean? We had a crew, man. So it was nuts.
General Erection.
Yeah. Private Stash. That was Van Hammer, because it was the rib. It was Private Stash. because he always had a stash. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he was mad because we didn't call him Major Stash.
That is funny.
Oh man, it was Major Guns. You remember her, right? Don't you?
I remember Major Guns. Yes,
Remember Major Guns.
I remember Major Guns. Yeah.
She was. She had some big guns. Yeah, she has some big guns. But nah, you can't tell me that wasn't funny, man. And it wasn't. It couldn't have been fun if done right. Then I left the Misfits in Action, and I became the world heavyweight champion, and the rest is history.
Yeah, rest is history. So I mean, it all worked out in the end, didn't it, Booker T?
Yeah, I think so. I think it really did.
Yeah. Well, I think we do have to get to your Royal Rumble appearance last night, because it wasn't just inside the Thunderdome as a part of the pre-show. You had a pretty big moment there, right? Another big Royal Rumble moment for Booker T happened last night when you teamed with one of the biggest stars in the world. That's crazy. One of the biggest stars in the world. You rocked the stage with last night. I'm sure we got to get into it. I'm sure you have some behind the scenes details or something. You got something for us, because you did have a run in with a couple of people who, you know, we're big fans of, typically on this show, of friends of the show, John Morrison and The Miz. So I want to hear all about this book. I know we got to take a break, but I want to hear all about it.
Yeah, I tell you, it was definitely epic. One for the books. One that I could always look back and say, man, another. There again, that was that man, part of something never imagined, never dreamt in a lifetime, being on stage with, there again, one of the biggest artists in the game today, Bad Bunny. Guys, stick around. And we're going to talk about Booker T, Bad Bunny, a tag team that can't lose. You're in the Hall of Fame. Back in a minute. Super. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I had to step away for a second, get a bottle of water. That's why I was running a little late. But I'm back. But yeah, man, we was talking about the Royal Rumble recap and the Bad Bunny experience with Booker T. It was definitely one of those deals, man. Like you say, a first, something that I never thought about doing. But there again, man, I talk about it all the time as far as making people feel a certain way in the wrestling business. It's like movies. It's like Broadway. It's like, Phantom of the Opera, Encore, Bravo. You make people feel a certain way. That's what happens. And Bad Bunny, a young kid, young Puerto Rican kid, didn't even speak English, but he's watching television and he see a character on television that he goes, man, what is this? And he was watching me in the King Booker era, where I was like, what was it? It was like, it was definitely Shakespearean. It was definitely, over the top to where I'm sure they had, television and it was translated, but I think it was so universal from just a visual perspective. You go, wow, what is this? You know what I mean? As well as the fans were really, really going crazy at that time. They hated King Booker, or they loved King Booker. One of the two. Then to see a kid like Bad Bunny come to where he is right now in his life, to where he is the hottest artist out there, if not, he's one of the hottest, if not the hottest artist out there, doing it as big as he is, to want to represent me and say, man, I'm gonna make a song about Booker T. That says a whole lot, man. It really does, because there again, it's been a lot of wrestlers, a lot of guys that's been in the game, and he chose me to do that and I was like, wow, to put me on another level as far as mixing with a total different genre. It really is amazing. And there again, man, I'm humble to the utmost to be a part of something like that. And there again, to be on stage last night, Royal Rumble, it really don't get no bigger than that.
No.
As far as exposure go, and there again, I was just standing there, just doing my part. But I always
I saw Freddie Prinze Jr. say on Twitter, man, how did Booker T remember all that choreography?
Nah, man. But that's the art of the game, man. That's the art of the game. The art of doing nothing. Freddie Prinze knew that he still have a job. I got it that time, didn't I?
Oh, that was good. But what? Walk it through. Let me ask you this, because this is now at least the second time that y'all have been somewhere doing this, right? Either you're shooting the video of Bad Bunny, or you're here at the Royal Rumble. I know you've had several interactions with him via Zoom or what have you. What is y'all's? Have y'all become like tight? Do y'all have like a relationship, or is it, hey, what's up, Bad, what's up, Book? How I just want to know. I'm just curious.
You know what, man? I never try to get in people's space like that.
Yeah,
I never try to jump in somebody's world just because they look up to me and they admired me, and then we do a project together. And then all of a sudden, I think that we're friends and we're the best of buddies or something like that. I don't look at it like that at all. It was definitely a business arrangement. It was definitely something there again. Like I say, I'm humble that he chose me to do it, and then big ups when I see him. You know what I mean? It's all love because there again, we both got a connection. But if he was to call me for something tomorrow and say, hey, Book, can you do this for me? I'd be like, yeah, man, no problem. And I think if I was to call him and ask him, hey, buddy, can you help me out with this? He'll probably say, no problem. But I always just try to keep a relationship on those levels right there. And if it grows to be something, you'll know it. But you don't try to force something. You don't try to make, yourself someone's friend, because it could definitely, turn into something ugly.
Yeah, I know. I hear that, but I mean, what was the vibe? Was he? Because I know he's such a big fan of WWE. We've talked about it before. I mean, obviously, he had the Eddie Guerrero shirt on in the Mia video with Drake. He's a big fan. What was his vibe like, being able to be on the stage now, Royal Rumble? What I mean, could you see any kind of thing in his eyes, or did he mention anything to you about how special this moment may have been for him?
Oh, you know what? He didn't, but I could definitely see it in his vibe and the way he felt, even in rehearsal when we was doing the song. And man, he was ready, man. He was running around like crazy. And but I honestly, this is what I wanted more than anything. Bad Bunny getting a chance to do something in WWE. I most definitely had so much fun doing the song and whatnot, and then doing this segment with him later on with Miz and Morrison. But I did not want to take any away the spotlight from him. I didn't want to take any shine away from him or anything like that. So to see how he went out there and held his own as far as coming out and doing the stuff with Miz and Morrison, and then Damian Priest, with the assist. I thought it was great. I really did. I really do. But I thought, with me being, anywhere near him in that instance right there, I thought it would have took away something from him. So I blessed him and said, after we did the song and whatnot, and let him know that, hey man, it's all on you, dog. It's all on you as far as what happens from here going forward. And I think Bad Bunny did a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, I think he did a great job. And I guess that would be a cool segue into the Royal Rumble. But did you see Twitter's reaction to y'all's performance? I mean, Twitter was pretty happy with what they saw overall.
You know what? I don't see why you can't be happy with it. I mean,
except for the few people who are like, I didn't understand anything that he said. I'm like, yeah, because it's a different language, but you can still feel the vibe. You know what I mean?
It's a different language, but you may not have understood it, but it was
hundreds of millions of people.
I don't know how many Bad Bunny fans, they understood it. You know what I'm saying? So the one that didn't understand it, hey, and more power to you, brother. You better go get some classes and take some Spanish or something. But I tell you, just the audience that it reached from Bad Bunny doing something like that, and then, like I say, for me just to get a rub. That's all I was looking for, was just a rub, and it was a hell of a rub. And hopefully there again in the future, Bad Bunny and I could do something else. Hopefully reality of wrestling, we could get Bad Bunny to do something with reality of wrestling. We got to get this pandemic under control, man. We got to get this thing under control, because I think it's definitely that to be done.
Yeah, and by the way, 46 million views on YouTube for the music video to Booker T and Bad Bunny. 46 million. It's a lot of people, man. that song's touching a lot of people. And it was cool and you know what? Shout out to WWE also for recognizing that, hey, somebody did a song about a two-time Hall of Famer, one of 4 in our company's history, and maybe we should go ahead and, acknowledge that and acknowledge him and give him this platform at the Royal Rumble. That was really cool. Last question about this, though. How hard was it to keep a straight face?
No, bro. I mean, that's not hard, man.
That wasn't hard?
No,
I would have been cracking.
Bro, after you being King Booker, after having to hold that face and play that role, you can't crack under pressure or anything like that. You gotta be in the moment. No, seriously, in the moment. I was definitely in the moment. You just think about Public Enemy and Public Enemy's crew. Man, you don't think those guys, was so deep off into what they were doing that they thought it was real?
Right.
The background, I don't know if you remember the videos, the Public Enemy used to do. They always had some dancers behind them, always looked militant, and they always looked very, very mean. Always like, like the Black Panthers or something, you know what I mean? They look mean, and they were always dancing and, making. Those guys had to be on point when it came to looking a certain way and acting a certain way. And that's what good actors do. For me, I could have stood there all night. And the thing is, I was trying my best not to blink.
Yeah.
I just, keep it straight, because there again, man, you get the smallest role and you got to be able to amplify the smallest role and make it the biggest role, because that's just the way it's just the way it is. It's just like in the Predator, the movie The Predator. Bill Duke, his role in The Predator was one of the biggest roles, in perhaps movie history, and it was a very, very small role, but the way he captured it, the way he brought those scenes to life. You're in the Hall of Fame, sucker. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, and this is for all up-and-coming professional wrestlers, male and female. You want to know the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts. You got a question, I got the answer. If you want to know how, join my masterclass. Go to realityofwrestling.com for all the information, starting on Thursday and every Thursday after that, guys. Don't miss out don't get shut out. And I know you can dig that.
The Academy.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. You know, I'm looking at a lot of the, comments in the chat, and everybody seemed to have, thought the Rumble was a solid show. Everybody thought it was really, really good. I don't know, maybe there's a tide, a shift, or something, because normally you get a few bad comments as far as, people hated this or they hated that. What intrigued you most about the Rumble?
Well, there was a lot, and I got to say, because it was a show with, as the Rumble typically is, with very few matches, all those matches have to perform. And I got to say, when we get to the main broadcast of things, everything really delivered for me.
Goldberg.
Let's talk about Goldberg and Drew McIntyre.
Man, let's get that out of the way right now. Goldberg, Drew McIntyre. Let's talk about it.
First off, I will say this. Look, because I know Goldberg's the guy who, whenever he gets the call, he goes crazy in the gym, tries to make sure he's cut, jacked. Goldberg of old. And I know they called him on a whim this time. He wasn't as prepared. I will say this, though. I like, old journeyman warrior fight shorts Goldberg. He wore the fight shorts this time. He didn't have his traditional tights. He wore fight shorts.
Was it because the density in the legs? Maybe. Maybe was it the lactic acid buildup?
That's all. Those are all possibilities. But I will say, well, here's the thing. I like when you came back and you wrestled Rex Andrews. You didn't come back with the white trunks and the white boots, right? You came back with black kind of tights, black jeans almost like you were coming out for a street fight. And Goldberg, I like that he evolved the look, even at this portion of his career, because he could surely come out like Hogan when they're in the red and yellow, tried and true WCW times, right? But he came out in fight shorts. I like that. We knew that this wasn't going to go long.
You know what? You
didn't like the fight shorts?
I didn't like the fight shorts.
I liked them.
If I came out on, WWE TV, I would have to have my tights and boots on. I couldn't come out, with jeans on. It wouldn't be right.
But it's an evolution. I mean, look, he went from the black trunks to the black, short tights to fighter shorts. It's not a big that's not a big jump. It's not like he came out.
They almost look like, the shorts like the NBA players wear.
They weren't basketball shorts. They had the slits on the side. They were fight shorts.
I mean, I'm talking about today's NBA player. If you want the old NBA players, it would. You know what? I don't know. It just looked like, he was trying to hide something.
Well, I mean, perhaps he was. I don't know. But I just said I liked it. But let's talk about the match itself, because we knew it wasn't going to be long. No Goldberg match is, nor should a Goldberg match should be at this.
I think it was like 4 minutes and 48 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, and I think bell to bell, when it officially started, it was about 2.5 minutes, in totality. They had the stuff beforehand. But you know what? I think that Goldberg did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to come out there, kick, give him something, let him kick out of the Claymore one time, then hit Drew with a bunch of spears, jackhammer. Drew kicks out. Goldberg, WTF, what do I do from here? Go for another spear, Claymore, and we're out of here. And I thought that he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And at the end, give him the hug, show respect. I will say Goldberg looked a little tired after that because Drew seems like a physical guy. Goldberg's a physical guy. But the handshake and the hug and the show of respect, this is exactly what we needed. It didn't need to be any more than it was. Do you not agree with that?
I don't know, man. I thought
it needed to be more.
No, I thought
Goldberg needed to put in 20 minutes.
No, I thought that was about as much as we can get out of it. I'm not going to sit here and say, I mean, Goldberg is not going to start doing, 12 to 15-minute matches now in his career when he hadn't done that before.
Right.
No, so I thought it was going to be quick. I don't know. I think we got out of it what we needed, and that's Drew McIntyre on to the next. When will we see Goldberg again? Will we ever see Goldberg again? That's going to be one of those questions also. And then, when we do hear about him, that we're going to be wondering if the excitement is going to be there or not, for Goldberg the next time. So I think we got out of it what we needed. Goldberg did as good as he could, I think. I think the story was what it was.
Yeah. No, I think that it was fine. To me, it was fine. I liked it. And to answer your question about Goldberg, will we see him again? I actually think so. I think that
why Goldberg, what, 54 now?
54.
Why would we see Goldberg in the ring again? Why? I'm just throwing that question out there.
Well, first, here's the thing. There's a couple things about Goldberg.
At 54.
At 54. There's a couple things about Goldberg.
At 54 now. If we see him again, it's not going to be at 54. It's probably going to be at 55 or higher.
Well, right now, I think that he has one more match for this year that he's contracted for, and then he's got 2022. He's got 2 matches in 2022. So I think that we're going to see Goldberg fulfill those dates. I think we're going to see 3 more Goldberg matches, and then he'll ride off into the sunset. Do we need Goldberg? No, I don't think we need Bill Goldberg on TV. Does he add something? I think that he does. I actually think that there's a spot for Goldberg. I don't think it's in the main event for the title, but you remember when he came back for SummerSlam, was it last year or the year before, where he just wrestled Dolph Ziggler, and it was an attraction match. Hey, Goldberg's wrestling Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam. And it was what it was. Dolph bumped around like a madman for him, shined him up, made him look great, and then we got out of there. And to me, I think that there is an appeal to having that. So for me, not main event, but Goldberg can be on the card, and I don't have a problem with it.
I don't know, man.
I don't.
Maybe I'm just thinking that wrestling, needs to be, embrace the change, embrace, the next generation.
Sure.
And I'm not thinking about, just like, say, for instance, it's talk, going around that The Rock, may come back and wrestle Roman at WrestleMania. Would that be a match that people want to see? Of course, people want to see it. It's The Rock. But I just feel like, when you get to a certain age in this business, you got to definitely start thinking about something else. Is it healthy? I was just talking about Sting, at 61, stepping into the ring again. Someone said, should he do it? And I go, it wouldn't be wise for Sting to step back in the ring and take a bump. Okay, all right. Taking a bump, at 25 is different than taking a bump at 61, at 55, 58. I know if I got in the ring, I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you something. When that match last year, I went down, I was wrestling Rex Andrews, one of my students. And I said, man, I'm gonna get in shape for this match, man. I'm gonna pull a Rocky on everybody. And I'm pull a 3 a.m. in the morning workout, go down to the gym, nobody's there, put the music on, hit the ropes, start doing some, burpees and whatnot, up downs, I did that for about 15 minutes. Got my ass back in the car and went home. So I'm gonna tell you, man. Just trying to train at that age, and taking a bump. It's not worth it, to be getting back in and out of the ring. It's just not. And that's why I say, people say, man, Book, you look good enough to work, man. Look good enough to wrestle. And I say, yeah, I probably do look good enough to wrestle. But I'm going to tell you, after I got in there and wrestled, one time, two times, three times, my body's going to be telling me something, very, very quick, saying, man, look, what are you doing? What are you thinking about? Come on here. So, it's a young man's game. That's why I say, it's time to turn the game over to the young guys, let them run with it. Guys like Goldberg, I'm not saying, throw the guy out, the pasture or anything like that. But, some guys got to, think about walking away on their own before someone do start thinking about throwing them out of the pasture. That's just what I see.
I get it. I do get it. But, Goldberg came back for that one match with Lesnar, and that was going to be it for him. And then WWE said, hey, well, you want to wrestle more matches for a lot of money? And he said, yeah. I mean, I don't really see what's wrong with that.
No. You know what? I can't say turn down the money or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. I don't know.
I know, but I get what you're saying, and you got to start thinking about your own well-being going forward in this. How many times can Goldberg do this? Even if it is 5 minutes, we know how much he puts into it. We know how much he hypes himself up. We know the abuse that he puts on his body. Because I'm sure that taking a claymore or doing a spear through the guardrail or what have you.
The thing is, man, this is the thing. All right,
take something out of you.
That's the thing, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I know we got to go to break. This is not Goldberg from 20 years ago having those 5-minute matches. This is Goldberg now in 2021 having those 5-minute matches. We know what's coming. We've seen the movie. We know the ending. We know exactly what's going to happen here. That's most of the times.
You thought Goldberg was going to get the title?
No, I did not.
You said it on this show.
I was just playing. I didn't really mean that. Okay. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
The Academy.
Super. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Nah, man, I was just playing. Okay. Nah, I really was just playing. I did not believe by any means Goldberg was going to win the championship. I was just playing. Okay.
All right. Okay. You don't got to get hot about it. I was just saying that's what you said.
We got a super chat, so let's get the super chat.
We're gonna get to the super chat
because you about to make me hot.
Okay. AJRX again with the 1999. Thank you, AJ. He said, here's an idea. Of course, main eventing WrestleMania is the highest of the highest, but us fans still have a bad taste in our mouths over WrestleMania 19. So why not do Booker T versus Triple H rematch at WrestleMania or in Saudi Arabia?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if Triple H and Booker T went down, it would have to be in Saudi, okay? Because they passing out big checks. And I'm talking about, you know what I mean, PPE, everything, in Saudi, and stimulus checks.
Stimmies being handed out like crazy.
You know what I mean, over there in Saudi. So there again, I said it earlier. I said, if, for me to get in the ring, the situation will have to be right. And, I would want to get paid to actually get back in the ring. And somebody might say, well, you wrestle at your own place at Reality Wrestling. Yeah, that's my place, and it's my job to go out there and teach my students and show them, how it's done sometimes. That's just the way I am. That's what that's the way I roll. But yeah, I would love to have another match. There again, situations right with Triple H, man. I don't know. A lot of people think about that match and they talk about it. And of course, the ending wasn't what most of the majority of the fans, that night was thinking about and wanting, man. Everybody, so many people wanted me to win that night. I remember, a couple of the office guys say, man, Book, you should have won tonight. You know what I mean? Well, you wrote it. You had a piece of it. Why don't you speak up? But no, I didn't win that night. But, I really don't lose any sleep over it or anything like that because there again, I've always looked at wrestling like movies, like Hollywood, and sometimes, when you're watching a movie, sometimes the bad guy wins.
Yeah.
The movie goes off and the bad guy gets away with the crime. What's the song? What's the movie? The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kaiser Salse. You know what I'm saying? No, sometimes the bad guy wins in the movies, and that's just the way I looked at that night. You know what I mean? The bad guy, robbed the bank and got away with the money. It happens that way sometimes. And I never have looked back on that match one time. You know what? People might think I'm lying, or they might think I don't know what they may think, but I've never once looked back and said, man, I should have won that match. I've never done that before. Never once, because I just never have thought about, the business that way.
So I have an interesting question for you because we just finished talking about Goldberg, and I want to go from one side of the spectrum of the night to the other. And I want to get to the Women's Royal Rumble. I want to get to the Roman Reigns match, the Sasha Banks match. But just because we're on this vibe, you said that we got to just step away and move on, right, to the new guard. So how do you feel about the winner of the Royal Rumble? Edge becomes the third man in history to win the Royal Rumble from the number one position, coming back after his torn tricep in the greatest wrestling match ever against Randy Orton. Edge goes coast to coast. He goes the whole way and wins the whole Rumble for the second time. How do you feel about Edge? Was that the right position for Edge?
Yeah. You know what? I think it was because Edge came back to finish it, right? And then, boom, get hurt. All right? Yeah. We know Edge is not going to be around for the next 5 years. We know that. All right? So we got to get, our mileage out of Edge right now. We got to go ahead and pull the trigger on this thing because, we don't know how long he's going to be around. A lot of people want to see Edge, do well. A lot of people wanted, to see Edge, do well, before he got hurt, Yeah. So for this, like this right here, it's almost like the restart. Let's get this thing restarted and let's move with it at no pun intended, but Operation Warp Speed.
Here's the thing. When Edge, yeah, I do. When Warp Speed. When Edge, real quick, Jeff says, Jeff J with the $4.99 super chat. Booker T, I just want to say thank you for everything you have done over the years, but WrestleMania 19 ticked me off how they wrote that story. God bless you. So, fans still feel a way about it. I'm sure in some way that's rewarding in some way, right? That they still care.
Man, I appreciate those fans, man, because they represented me that night, man. They wanted me to win. And so many of them, man, to this day, it still burns. It hurts them that I didn't win that night. Even though, I still went on and I became world champ after that. But yeah, and a lot of people feel like, that night, I should have won. And it burns. It burns a lot of people. But that's a testament to what we did in the ring back then. As far as making our fans feel a certain way when they watch those shows, when they watch those angles go down, they watch the back and forth banter between Triple H and I. And then they watched the match. As far as man, it was highly contested in that match that night. It looked like it could have went either way. Of course, Ric Flair was the determining factor, the X factor, whatnot. But I didn't win. But there again, the Shakespeare, the Romeo and Juliet, the Phantom of the Opera, the Encore, the Bravo, the Curtain Call, all of that was there. And those fans, I appreciate you guys.
Have you watched that match back ever?
I've watched that match once or twice. And
just curious.
Only thing I think about when I watched it was, man, it was a pretty good match. No, I'm serious, man. I left everything in the ring that night, man. Harlem Hangover and everything, man. There I didn't win it. And there again, I've never gotten to wrestling business thinking about wins and losses. I think I won, being a kid, from South Park, Texas, 5942 South Month, a guy who, fell through the cracks, when he was a kid, got in some trouble and, bounced back and found himself in the main event, at WrestleMania.
That's pretty good.
I think that's a win. And any way I look at that right there, watching wrestling on television, watching, Steamboat and Savage WrestleMania 3, never dreamt one time of being a professional wrestler. And I find myself in the main event at WrestleMania, the biggest show in professional wrestling. There's not too many guys could say they've done that.
No, they can't. So, I mean, it's definitely one of those cool nights. I just wondered how many times you'd watched it back, if ever. Maybe we should do a revisit here someday on the channel. But to go back to Edge winning, and then you talked a little bit about the some of the surprise entries. I want to get your reaction to Christian, man. When Christian, Captain Charisma, comes back after. Remember, we had him on this show a little less than a year ago after Edge came back. And I remember asking him, does this make you think, maybe you can come back? And he's like, no, you can't think that way. I don't want, sure, I mean, the opportunity's there, but, I don't want to think that way. And here he is the following year, Royal Rumble. And Christian looked great, right? He looked like he actually looked better than when he retired.
It was the tan,
Tan. The tan looked good, man. And Christian went out there.
I'll tell you, man, I don't know if it was fake bake, if he actually had to tan, but the brother looked like Hogan from back in '85.
For a long time I didn't think Hogan was white for the longest time. I really didn't. I was like, oh man, I wonder what his ethnic background is. Because the brother was so dark.
Christian looked like Hogan last night. I was like, man, this brother. I saw him in the back.
We got to start calling him Christian.
I swear, man. I saw him in the back and I was like, brother.
He must have gone to extra dark tan.
But he definitely. But it was great to see Christian back in the ring, man. Christian was one of those guys who thought perhaps he never made be able to put the boots back on ever again and get back in the square circle of 20 by 20. So it was just good to see him in there, with Edge.
That moment where they kind of looked at each other, big hug, and then they do a couple double teams.
Oh, that right there, it's just what we call back in the day, and we still do, a moment. You can't, once you get it, you got to capitalize on it because you may never, ever get it back ever again. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I see guys in the chat that guys do not get into a scuffle over, where CM Punk was. He was not there. A lot of people anticipated CM Punk making his return back to the Royal Rumble 2021 down there in Tampa, but he didn't do it. He didn't do it. What do you think, man? What do you think?
I wasn't expecting CM Punk.
Were you? You was
I
expecting?
I was not. I was not. And you know what? The Rumble, you always look forward to all the surprises. I think that the surprises we got, I was fine with. I liked Christian.
Tell me this. If the Cult of Personality would have hit, would a smile have come across the face? Like, oh man.
Yeah, it probably would have been a cool moment. It would have been cool. I gotta tell you this. I got that same feeling from Christian. I really did. I was really happy to see Christian. I don't think anything as a fan will ever top Edge coming back at the Royal Rumble last year. It was just such a cool moment.
Wait a minute. You do not think CM Punk pop would have eclipsed Edge's pop? I mean, right now,
no chance on Green Earth.
If we had fans and if we was in Chicago.
Well, okay, hold on. If we were in Chicago with his family at ringside and his entire graduating high school class having given comp tickets, okay, yeah, if you want to add on extra, and he came out at number 30 and then won the thing, sure. Yeah, sure. And I'm a CM Punk fan. I don't think that anything. I don't think there's anything that's going to top that Edge Rumble return. I think that's the best one ever. Maybe. It's up there. It's got to be top three Rumble return, just because there was no semblance that was even a possibility. Punk, it's not like he retired because he was sidelined with injury or what have you. As far as that, I don't think Punk's ever going to come back. Right? I heard he's going to play some wrestler in a TV show. But aside from that, I think that's the closest we're going to get to it.
I was looking at that. I was reading that this morning. Stephen Amell got a show that's about wrestling that he's getting ready to come out with. And I heard CM Punk's going to be playing a role in that. I was on the way home this morning from Tampa, and I was looking at YouTube, and the Mickey Gall fight came across, the timeline, Mickey Gall and CM Punk. And man, I watched that fight, and brother, in such a short amount of time, and that fight in that one round, CM Punk had so many knots on his head, you'd have swore he was from Bedrock.
You couldn't wait to get that one off. You couldn't wait. Booker's watching that on the plane going, oh, I got something for him tonight.
I just thought of that. I just thought of that.
You couldn't wait.
That was a good one, though.
Oh, that was funny. Oh.
Oh man, I was just pissed. No, I was watching it. It was a quick fight. Come on, man.
I gotta get it together. Oh, that was too funny.
Oh man.
But that fight was short. You got me crying over it. Oh, that was so funny.
Oh man.
Okay. But CM Punk coming back would have been a big pop. Stop it. It would have been a big pop. I really enjoyed the returns that we got last night. Your buddy Hurricane Helms was back in there, full gear. Went for the choke slam. I can't even look at you.
Yeah,
That was good. It went for the choke slam spot, and who else? Look, everyone was talking about Carlito. Everyone was talking about how jacked Carlito looked. And the thing is, he came down to reality wrestling. I don't know when this was. Maybe like 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years ago, and he looked that. I mean, he's better outside of his initial run than he. I mean, he looks better now than he did outside of his initial run by far, and he doesn't look like he's aged even a little bit. He's just gotten better with time.
That's what all the guys were saying, man. It was like, man, dude, you don't age, man. I mean, come on, man. I mean, so nah, man, you could tell he's been taking care of himself. Carlito, the whole time, that I was on the road with Carlito, I can say this, and the boys, man, my era, we ran hard. Let me just say that. We wasn't shy about, putting our time in at the bar. Okay. And I've never once seen Carlito really drunk. Maybe he's been that way, but I've never seen him that way. And normally, guys, like that, you say, man, I wonder how long this guy's going to be around. But I've never seen Carlito out of, his element. And that's always been a guy that's in control. One thing that impressed me about Carlito, his first run was, of course, he was playing the heel, with the apple and whatnot, and he played a damn good heel.
Great.
And then I remember when Carlito came back, probably his last run, they had Carlito playing a babyface. And Carlito went out and he did a springboard backflip, crossbody, and it was the first time that I had ever seen him do that. And I was like, bro, I didn't know you could do that. He goes, man, I could do all of that stuff. And I had never seen him do any of those moves ever. And so that just let me know that this was a guy that was a real worker, a guy that really, really, put time into his craft. And that's why he's a guy right now in 2021 that they could get on the phone and say, hey man, let's get Carlito back in the loop. Because he's prepared. Preparation is the only luck you're ever gonna have. Knock came and he was ready. So I love it. I told him last night, man, I said, man, I'm glad to see you back.
Yeah, I hope he's around more. I hope they sign, kind of like, when MV came back last year, they're like, hey, why don't we have MVP on the show? And now look at him. He's got the Hurt Business.
Put him in the Hurt Business. You know what I mean?
Put Carlito in the Hurt. Oh, book. That's a great idea. Him and Bobby as a tandem with Shelton.
Man. I mean, that right there, put him in the Hurt Business, man. I mean,
I like that.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I like that. Okay, I want to talk more about the Royal Rumble, but quick, just because we only have like a minute or two left, this is a good time to do it. Your man did it last night. He did it. He did it for everybody. He did it for the people. Peter Rosenberg is the new 24/7 champion.
Yeah.
Peter Rosenberg's the new 24/7 champion.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I don't know if Peter knows what he's gotten himself into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm glad for Peter. You know what I mean?
I'm happy for Peter.
He's a good friend. He's a good friend. I don't know how he finagled that spot. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man, this thing is gonna end up real, real bad for Peter Rosenberg because he might end up, in a match at Mania.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine Peter Rosenberg defending the 24/7 championship against R-Truth at the WrestleMania?
Yeah. Or Michael Cole.
Rosenberg versus Michael Cole?
Yeah.
For the title?
For the title.
Could you be the referee?
Perhaps. Hold on. If the payday is right.
If the money's right, you will do anything. You will definitely referee that match. What was your reaction when you found out Petey Boy did it though? I mean that had to feel good. Petey Boy did it. He did it for us.
I was there. I saw it.
He did it for all the fans.
I don't know
winning
why.
A title.
I don't know why the hell he did it. But no, I'm serious. No, but Petey's been having that look in his eye for the last, couple of months. You know what I mean? That 30-yard stare. You know what I mean? That glazed over look, like he's been up all night drinking or something. You know what I mean? So I don't know if the brother that lost it, if he's snapped, been drinking. I don't know what it is, but he is the champ now. We're gonna see where it goes.
We'll see. I mean, maybe he just loses it on TV tonight. I don't know if he's still in the Tampa Bay area. If I was him,
no. I'm gonna tell you right now, he's not in the Tampa Bay area. I know that. I do know.
So he's probably back in New York with that title under lock and key. Not gonna he might be the longest reigning 24/7 champion in history.
Well, if he's just coming out once a month for the pre-show, he can hide. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't think it would be right for someone to try to take it while we're actually on the air. Should be some boundaries. You know what I mean? So, but in commercial break. Yeah, there we go. We got a new champ. Hey, guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, and this is for all up-and-coming professional wrestlers, male and female. You want to know the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts. You got a question, I got the answer. If you want to know how, join my masterclass. Go to realityofwrestling.com for all the information. Starting on Thursday and every Thursday after that, guys. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. And I know you can dig that.
The Academy.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. And that is true, guys. Join me every Thursday. Well, every Thursday that I'm off. Booker T's Wrestling 101 Zoom class. Go to realityofwrestling.com. Get your information. We will be on there doing it big this Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. Talking about the ins and outs, do's and don'ts of the game, the art of professional wrestling. We had one of our loyals, Aaron C, in the last class with us. So guys, if it's something if it's something that you want to learn, if it's something you're thinking about getting into, if it's something that you're already doing and you need what we call expert tutelage, jump on the class. Is only $25 and it's an hour long. We actually do a film study. We actually talk about a match. You get a chance to ask, as many questions as we can fit in there. More importantly, it's about trying to get you to that next level. And if that don't work, we definitely will have you at Reality of Wrestling right here, Texas City, Texas, 10,000 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway. Come down, check it out, guys. I don't think you can go wrong if you're trying to get to the next level.
Well, let's talk about, because if my math is right, I think this is our last segment here. So we got a lot of Royal Rumble to cover. What did you think, though? Let's talk about it. Bianca Belair, she wins the Women's Royal Rumble, coming in at number 3. She's going on to WrestleMania. I would like to see Bianca Belair versus Charlotte. But what did you think about the Women's Royal Rumble? We talked about returns from Victoria, Jillian Hall, Tori Wilson, Mickey James, Alicia Fox. Those are all names that kind of came back. What did you think of the Rumble itself and then the winner?
No, man. She definitely, Bianca Belair definitely was in the ring with a bunch of players. And she stepped up to the plate. She's been, highly touted ever since, NXT and what she's done there, and people say, man, she could be the one, she could be the next level. And to see her actually go out and perform, I mean, her performance is, she makes it look easy. That's what scares me with her. But she turned it on last night and switched into another gear. And when she beat Bailey last week, also, what impressed me with her also that night was the promo after the match. She really looked like she was in the moment of, I'm finna take this world by storm. This was just the beginning. And you guys are going to see a whole lot more of, Bianca Belair. She made that moment feel a certain way. And I was like, wow, that it really let me see a different side of her. And that's what I'm always looking for as far as a star goes. And right now, I think her star is going to shine really, really bright. You had, Dakota Kai, in there. You had Rhea Ripley in there, who a lot of people really thought Rhea Ripley was going to be. I picked Rhea Ripley to win the whole thing, and but Bianca Belair, she definitely proved that she could be the next.
I think that she's got everything, right? She's got it all. She's got the charisma. She's got the gimmicks. She's got the in-ring work, the athleticism, the look, everything. Everything is great. Everything is great about Bianca Belair, and that's why I thought it was either going to be her or Rhea Ripley. I think that was conventional wisdom. It was going to be one of the two. And her getting it and getting that spot, and if it's her versus Sasha at WrestleMania, I think that's a money match, right? I mean, Sasha Banks has been, I think that you've said this, and you may have said this last night on the pre-show. She's been on, maybe the best run of her career by far. She's produced the best work. No one can really hang with her bell to bell. No one's got that IQ that she has. And now you have Bianca Belair going to go see, okay, let's see how good I really am. I'm going to go against the best that the women's division has to offer right now. I really like this matchup going into WrestleMania. And I think that she was the right person to win. I think she was 100% the right person to win. Rhea Ripley, she had her WrestleMania last year, right? She had her moment with Charlotte last year.
Yeah.
She's going to have a moment sooner or later. It's going to happen for Rhea Ripley. The talent on that woman is out of this world.
What's crazy is too, you look at the size on Bianca Belair, and she's a big girl.
Yeah.
And then you look at Rhea Ripley, she's huge. And Sasha Banks, she's not as big. But then you look at Bailey. Bailey's right. The women, man, they are literally overpowering in so many ways, especially the ones that's rising to the top. But I think Bianca Belair, I think the rub that she's gotten from Bailey, as far as, talk about the IQ that Sasha Banks has, the rub that Bianca has gotten, from Bailey has definitely put her in a perspective to where almost like I equated to when I wrestled Ricky Steamboat. Of course I lost that match, but I was a whole lot better coming out of that match, than before I went in it. I was so much smarter coming out of that match than before I went in it. I was like, I had just like went to Q school in a matter of 20 minutes. It was something like that. So if Bianca Belair has that same feeling I had when I was in there with, guys like Ric Flair. I was talking to Ric Flair just last night. Man, I was supposed to met Rick at the bar and had a drink. I forgot. But I told Rick, Rick, I remember when I worked you and you was telling me to stop and telling me to come on at the same time. And I was like, what was that all about? He say, I told Lex Luger that, and he started walking to the dressing room.
Gotta love Rick. Gotta love Slick Rick. But yeah, I love that Bianca won it. And then if it's her and Sasha, because Sasha had another great performance last night in there with Carmella, who Carmella's actually looked, I think, the best that she has since she's come back in this run. She's continuing to progress. Going in there with someone like Sasha only makes you better. I actually like that match. There's a little scary dive spot at one point where it looked like Carmella ate the apron or ate the ring mat. It broke her fall with her face.
Well, what do you think about Carmella? What do you think about her?
I think she's good. I like Carmella. I think she's money. I really do. I think that working somebody, you were just talking about working Ricky. You're only going to progress if you work somebody that's better than you. Sasha Banks, perhaps the best in the division right now. And when you're in there with her, I think that's where we've seen Carmella become, in my opinion, better than she has since before her hiatus.
Yeah. Well, think she do a lot of talking. She needs to do a little bit more wrestling. Got a super chat there.
Super chat is, can I get a can you dig it sucker from a Hall of Famer?
All
right. Before we talk about the main about the WWE title match, I do want to get your opinions on this. There is a bit of breaking news that just happened. The news just broke about, I don't know, 30 minutes ago while we were on the air. Here it is, Booker T. What happened is Rosenberg was on his radio show, ESPN radio show, and look at what happened here. We had R-Truth enter with a referee live on ESPN radio, and it looks like we officially got a title change.
Hey, man, you got to watch your back. You know what I mean? He should have beat the hell out of Rosenberg before he took it. That would have made my day right there, just doing that. Don't go ahead and just roll him up. Beat the hell out of him.
Look at it. Look at it. There he goes.
I like it.
Cover. 1, 2, 3. New 24/7 champion.
Rosenberg. He looked like Ariel 1.
That's the worst thing you can say about somebody. But last but not least, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens. Did they not tear the house down?
Last man standing, man. Those guys went all over the place, man. What I liked about that match, man, is they used the furniture. They moved the furniture all over the place. It reminded me of, like back in the 90s when I was, watching, the television screen, and, I was in WCW, but I would be watching WWF, and those guys would just be going all over the place. That's what that reminded me of, and definitely an awesome match. And still, though, Roman Reigns, the champion.
Roman Reigns, by hook or by crook, but man, did Kevin Owens make him earn it. Did Kevin Owens make him earn it? And that spot that they did off of the forklift, Kevin Owens jumps off the forklift. That was crazy. The golf cart, Kevin Owens got run over by a golf cart. And he made it look good. I remember when Sammy Guevara a couple months back got ran over in the AEW. And his looked good.
Yeah, his looked really good. Yeah.
I think Owens may have had him by a hair because that glass broke.
It's a big debate right now, as far as what they get the idea from.
Oh,
shit. Whack. It's one of those things, man. It's all good, though, man. It's all good in the hood. Yeah. But man, we're getting close, man. We got to get up out of here. What's this last super chat?
Someone said they thought you were going to be in the Rumble.
Man, I thought I was going to be in too, man. Next time, thing is, I didn't get no invitation. Normally with the invitation, it's a check attached, So maybe next year, man. Maybe next year. You never know. Hey, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. And we're not going to be back on until Thursday this week, guys. So be on the lookout for Brad Gilmore, Booker T inside the Hall of Fame. One more time. We got to get up out of here right now. Shoop, we out.